Good morning, everyone. This is Jim, Anna, and Eric, and welcome to our first episode with Live with Main Street. Jim, where are you at?
Well, Anna, I'm actually in your office. I think they call it in French a coup d'etat. So I've taken over the Burlingame office and sent you home.
I gotta keep you down, Jim, because you're just everywhere. I thought you moved to Las Vegas. Now you're in Burlingame. Well, good. I'm glad to have you here this weekend.
Thank you. And
And
I'm
we've
glad
got
to be here.
Yes, and we've got somebody new. So Eric, welcome to our show and our first episode. So Live with Jim and Anna, slowly transitioning to Live with Main Street because we have new people we'd like to have on our show, and so that you can hear questions and answers from them as well. So it's not just typical Jim and Anna kind of a discussion, but it's more spice. So here we go. So Eric is our one of our new planners. He started with us in January and has made lots of progress. So he has his own clients, and I'm sure they would want to hear his points of views on various financial topics. So that's where we're at. Do you guys want to start with questions?
Sure. I've got one for you, Anna. Let's put you on the hot seat.
Okay, I'll go first and then I'll be done. How about that?
Okay. So, Anna, one of your clients said to you, I was between jobs and racked up some credit card debt. I now have a new job that offers a 401k retirement plan. Should I be paying off my low interest rate, which they are telling us is 2.99, credit card, or contribute to my 401k?
Yes, Jim. That's a good question. I have to start with this line. Okay, well, first of all, congratulations on getting a new job. So my first thought is I like to get rid of the credit card debt as fast as possible. But we need to think about what else is going on out there and take that into consideration. So let's just go through some points that I want you to think about. So number one is, does the 401k offer a match? A match is just the free money that your employer will contribute to your new 401k account. Typically, maybe 3%, sometimes more. Now, do you have an emergency fund? Right? So these are all the points I want you to think before you're going to make a decision whether you contribute more money to the 401k or contribute to the 401k period versus paying down or off your credit cards. Now, I take it that you may not have an emergency fund, or you may have spent it down since there's a credit card debt has been accumulated. So the goal and what we advise our clients is 3 to 6 months worth of living expenses, right? That's a goal, and I know it's a big goal, but you can start with, with just a little bit at a time. And you know what happens when you don't have enough money for a rainy day. You start accumulating credit card debt. Now, are there any other debts that we need to take into account? 2.99% is very low interest rate, right? So is there anything else? Do you have a car loan? Are there student loans? How about your mortgage? So what else is going on there that we need to give more priority versus credit cards? Okay, so now, are there going to be changes in your living expenses? Now you have a new job. Are you going to have increased commuting costs? So what is going to change? If nothing changes, that's perfect. But if something does change and that adds up to your overall spending, then we need to think about that. Now, if you focus on paying, if there's none of these apply to you, and you focus on paying credit cards with increased speeds, what I don't want to happen is that in case a bad situation comes up again and you haven't yet focused on your emergency fund, but you've been paying off the credit card, and then you find yourself back again where you were just a few months ago, having no cushion to rely on. So I would propose to go sort of in two directions. Pay a little bit more towards the credit cards and then start saving money in the emergency reserve. Okay? And then the last point I want to make, that if there is no 401k match, right? If they don't give you any money, then you probably need to focus 100% of your monies towards paying off your credit cards. Jim?
Well, Anna, I agree with you, except
All right.
there's a concept called opportunity cost. We don't know what the 401k is going to produce in the short run. It might be a negative, it might be a positive, but 401k contributions consist of dollar cost averaging. And history tells us that over time, you'll probably do better for most people at a rate higher than 2.99%. So I would, at this point, split it. If I would always go for the match, and then I would sort of one for one, $1 to the credit card, $1 to the 401k. If there's no match, I'd still stick with my one-on-one.
That is kind of what I said, Jim. Thanks for rephrasing.
Okay.
So I think you agree with me. So
I always agree with you, Anna.
moving on. How about? Oh, I like that. Thank you for saying that on air. Okay. How about we ask Eric a question? Jim, you're gonna have to go last. Okay. Oh, by the way, our listeners. Okay. Those of you who are listening live, we always forget to remind everyone. On your screen, on the left-hand side corner at the bottom, right, you should see a link that says "Join in the conversation." We have our questions open, so if there's a question you want to ask us live, type it in, and we'll try to address it. We'll have Jim answer the question on the spot.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, Eric. So how about a question for you?
Sure.
What can you tell me more about the pension plan for the military?
So the pension plan for the military is undergoing some significant changes starting January of 2018. And what's happening is currently people, when they retire after 20 years, are eligible for 50% of their pension. And that's going to go away. That amount is going to decrease. So the government is going to start matching the TSP that the military members contribute, much like the federal employees get. So the 1% automatic, and then up to 5% total. And instead of getting 2.5% for every year of service they do, they're going to get 2%. So if you do 20 years, you get a 40% pension. So it's going to be a 10% drop from what you're currently getting. And the last thing that they're going to offer is at 12 years, they're going to offer up to a 3-month bonus if you agree to do 4 more years. So there's some significant changes coming with regards to military pensions. And it's better for people, especially people that are in the middle of their career right now, and they're going to have to make a decision do they want to join opt into the new one, or continue on the way they're going, to start thinking about it.
When does the change take effect?
It starts January 2018, but between all of 2017, you'll be given the option to opt in and decide if you want to continue with the 50% or if you want to go with getting the match from TSP and a reduced pension.
Mm-hmm. And there's some people who are going to be grandfathered in?
Right. If you don't opt in, but you came in before it starts, you'll continue with the 50%.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So this is for new people, correct?
It will be for new people starting 2018.
2018. Okay. I just wanted to get clear on this. Okay. Okay. Jim, any comments?
Well, it sounds like it's an opportunity for financial planners like us to come up with a spreadsheet to do an analysis of people that have to make this decision. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I think we're going to get quite a few questions like that. That was back in, I actually had an experience, still have an experience going through with a client who back in early 80s had to switch from one type of a federal retirement plan to another, or they had to make a decision, and now they're seeing the results of that decision. So we'll start seeing those kinds of cases a lot more in the coming months or years. Okay, Jim, now it's your turn.
Thank you.
Okay, so here's what I have for you. My friend referred me to his money manager. He says he's getting him into the same great things and making him a lot of money. What do you think about that?
Well, it's always interesting when you get emails like this, because you just don't know all of the details or where things are coming from, but we do have some excellent resources. So when our client gave me the person's name and the company name, I went to their website. And on their website, just like on our website, is their ADV2 or the SEC and state-mandated disclosure document. It tells all about the company and all about the individuals that work at the company. Well, I downloaded that disclosure document and I went through it. I saw that although my client had said they're doing some interesting things and making lots of money, that their stated investment strategy is to put people in index funds, stock and bond mutual funds, and I didn't see anything unusual except they do margin investing. And then the margin investing certainly caught my attention because right in the next sentence they said you could lose a lot of money in this. They're disclosing that. And in my whole career, and it's been over 14 years in this business model, we've never recommended to anybody that they borrow against their portfolio to do more investing. Anyway, this company does. I also checked out both of the principals of the company. They had worked at two different wirehouses, brokers, and they didn't have any certifications at all. And there's a lot of certifications, some of which are more rigorous than others, but they had none at all. I thought that was very unusual for someone who'd been in the financial services business for over 7 years. I also did note that both of the principals had no degree in finance. One was in communications and the other one was in logistics. So I thought that was a little strange too. Degree not related, no certifications or other experience noted other than, I'm sure, the sales training they get at the wirehouse. Then I went to FINRA, which is the regulatory agency for brokers or investment advisor representatives, and I went to the FINRA broker check. So if you just Google FINRA broker check, and you type the person's name in, and boom, they came up, and I saw their work history, where the two different wirehouses they worked out, a separate company, and then where they're currently at. But it was really strange because it says this individual is no longer registered. Wow. So then I noted that their disclosure document was out of date. The rule that we have to go by, and all RIAs, registered investment advisors, is you have to post your new disclosure document by March 31st of the current year. Theirs was dated February from 2015, and I downloaded it on June the 2nd. So they're out of compliance there. Those were two red flags: not registered and out-of-date disclosure document. I told our client, steer clear. So anytime you want to check somebody out, look at the disclosure document, read it carefully, and then go to the FINRA broker check, and you'll find out lots of good information. That's my answer.
Yes, that's a good answer, Jim. One of the things we do for our clients is, in cases when they do ask us that question, say, well, my friend told me, and should I do that? So we check them out first, but then if you want a professional service, when we actually spend our time looking for a money manager that fits your style of investment that you're interested, do you want passive or you want active type of investing? Do you like somebody local, or you'd like to work with somebody who is remote? I mean, there's all kinds of criteria that we help you go through and understand, and then we go out and find you that money manager, with not just because a friend recommended, but because there's truly a process to get you to the right firm so that they can serve you and they manage your portfolio the way it should be managed. That's not just because a friend recommended. So keep in mind that we could offer that kind of service. But one other comment I wanted to add, Jim. Sometimes I've seen for investment management firms that maybe principals are not exactly financial planners or have any experience. They may have a research team in-house, right? We've seen that before. But unless
in their disclosure document, looks like they actually outsource that.
Oh, even outsource. Yeah, that's a good point too. Everything is outsourced these days.
So in our trade, we would call them asset gatherers. So they're not really money managers; they're asset gatherers, and then they could go to third parties and have customized strategies made for people. So it's not a bad scheme to do. It's just that the person you're talking to may not be the person with his finger on the mouse day to day doing the actual management.
Yep, agree. You want somebody who understands what's going on. Okay, well, not too bad for the first show. Doesn't look like, let me check, doesn't look like we have any live questions. We will get them next time. You guys all have a wonderful weekend. We'll see you in a month, and send us more questions. We could go a little longer next time. And not too bad for the first Live with Main Street. Bye, Eric. Bye, Jim.
Bye, Anna.